Hello, and thanks for joining us this evening at 5:30. I'm Sarah Horbacewicz here with Nathan Scott, who's in for Corrales Ortiz. Nathan, glad to see you here. I don't normally get to see you, but I'm pretty sad about the weather we're seeing.
Good evening, Sarah. Yeah, we've been seeing some gloomy conditions out there through the course of the weekend. Still lots of clouds today. Even some patchy drizzle happened in parts of the metro earlier this morning. Out there right now, it's quiet. Radar not showing up anything on the loop. And as we take a look at temperatures, it's cool. Temperatures are into the upper 40s to lower 50s. Tonight, if you have any plans to check out any holiday activities across central Arkansas, the weather will not be an issue. Temperatures dropping down slowly into the mid 40s as we go into the start of your Monday. Here are the rain chances, though. They ramp up on Tuesday, and we are still concerned about the potential we could see some strong, possibly severe thunderstorms. Here's the latest breakdown from the Storm Prediction Center now, and you can see the bullseyes primarily for South Arkansas, right along the border of Arkansas and Louisiana. And then that risk really drops off as you get into central Arkansas. I'll have more on the timing of when we could see some strong to severe thunderstorms and also talk about why the chance of severe weather here in central Arkansas is much lower compared to folks down to the south. It's all coming up later.
All right, thanks, Nathan. Now, despite all of that rain, the holiday season is here, and we're excited to help spread the Christmas spirit. So tonight, THV 11's Julissa Garza took the short drive to Pine Bluff to see how they're spreading Christmas cheer to their community. Julissa?
Hey Sarah, it's definitely cold out here and I feel the Christmas spirit in Pine Bluff. We are lucky we have a sneak peek before the gates open here in Pine Bluff at the 25-year tradition Legends of Land and Lights. I am so excited about this. We've got Samuel Glover here with the Parks and Rec Department. You told me this is a tradition 2 decades almost.
Yes, ma'am. So it's so great to have everyone to come in from just really around the state to partake in what we have here in Pine Bluff. It's been going on for so long. It's really a timeless tradition here. Everyone looks forward to it, and just something you can bring the family and your friends and everyone to just come down and enjoy.
So much fun. Now, it is kind of dark out here, but the lights will be up shortly. And Sarah, I cannot wait for you to see them. I got to see a little bit of the setup earlier, and it is definitely a sight to see. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and toss things back to you in studio.
All right, thank you, Julissa. Now tonight we have new information about a story we first shared with you yesterday. Investigators have identified the body of a woman who was found dead in a car in North Little Rock over the weekend. Friday night, police responded to Franklin Street near 22nd and Pike Avenue. Once they got there, officers found 67-year-old Susan Hall dead inside a car parked in a driveway. Police are still investigating if foul play was involved. The State Crime Lab is also working to determine how she died and if her death will be ruled a homicide. Sunday liquor sales are coming to 2 new cities in Arkansas. Soon, people in 2 northwest Arkansas communities can buy alcohol 7 days a week. Rogers and Bentonville will start selling alcohol on Sundays after residents voted in favor of the issue in November. This comes as the Arkansas Alcoholic Beverage Commission, or ABC, announced the certification of the election results. According to Benton County data, Rogers residents voted over 70% in favor of alcohol sales on Sundays. And in Bentonville, 74% of voters were in favor. ABC says the 2 cities can start selling alcohol on Sundays beginning January 1st. The man accused of making the bomb threat that destroyed Pan Am Flight 103 has been taken into U.S. custody and will face federal charges. He's the 3rd Libyan intelligence official charged in the U.S. in connection with the 1988 attack that killed 270 people. He would be the first to appear in an American courtroom for prosecution. Christian Benavides reports.
The suspect is a Libyan intelligence official accused of making the bomb that brought down Pan Am Flight 103 over Lockerbie, Scotland on December 21, 1988. Now, just before the 34th anniversary of the International Act of Terrorism, the Justice Department says Abu Ajila Massoud is in U.S. custody and will face charges in Washington. The capture of Massoud, who was charged nearly 2 years ago, marks a long-awaited milestone in the decades-long investigation. The attack killed 259 people on board a New York-bound flight from London 190 Americans were on board. 11 people were killed on the ground after the plane exploded over Scotland. Those killed included 35 Syracuse University students on their way home for the holidays after a semester studying abroad. Sunday, the school's chancellor said in part in a statement, "Today's news is a significant milestone in a decades-long process to bring those responsible for this despicable act to justice." The mother of victim Nicole Boulanger says the tragedy haunts her every day.
Today's news was a shock because I wasn't expecting it today, but I knew that they knew the bomber, and the bomber was in Libya. It's very important that the people who perpetrate these crimes are brought to justice.
Scottish and UK officials vowed to continue to pursue the investigation with the U.S. Cristian Benavides, CBS News, Miami.
The Justice Department said Massoud would appear in a federal court in Washington, where he faces 2 criminal counts related to the explosion. Now, the release of Brittany Griner as a part of a prisoner exchange with Russia is raising questions about the growing problem of so-called hostage diplomacy. Experts say more foreign governments are wrongfully detaining Americans as a way to gain leverage against the United States. Dozens of Americans are considered wrongfully detained around the globe, some essentially taken hostage by foreign governments for political gain. Last July, the State Department added a D indicator to travel warnings for countries where Americans could be at higher risk of wrongful detention.
We need to solve this problem, not just for my brother, but also for Americans in general who want to travel.
The State Department says it's working with 60 nations to use visa bans, sanctions, and other measures to address the problem of hostage diplomacy. We are just weeks away from Christmas, and we're sure you're figuring out who will be visiting your home. Will one of your guests be someone who might have Alzheimer's or dementia? If you're caring for someone with these diseases, tonight THV 11's Frederick Price has advice on keeping this time of year joyous instead of stressful.
Yeah, this time of year, so close to the Christmas holiday, can be especially stressful for someone caring for someone with the disease. But Alzheimer's Arkansas says doing things like lowering your expectations and making adjustments can make all the difference.
Spending time together during the holidays is usually joyous for most families, but Carolyn Berry with Alzheimer's Arkansas says it can also be stressful for caregivers.
It affects caregivers' mental health, emotional health, and physical health. Number one, probably because they don't know what to do or how to carry on with holidays.
Berry says it's important to realize family traditions will change and it's best to prepare to readjust.
Maybe their memory is, bad and none of this makes sense to them, or they don't recognize someone.
Consider lessening the celebrations, or at least create a separate safe space, she says, so someone with the disease will feel more comfortable.
Giving your loved one a place to retrieve, because sometimes there's too much stimulation. They can become upset because someone says the wrong thing.
And don't be afraid to take a break. Berry recommends using services like respite care. It provides caregivers temporary rest while the person still gets the care they need.
To have someone fresh with a new conversation, new environment, may be what they need.
Additionally, other family members can be a big source of support.
Call before. Communicate before to see what you can do. Because in our minds, there's some things we can do, but we don't know what they actually need.
Ultimately, she adds, caregivers should not feel guilty about leaving a loved one out of a family gathering. Give yourself grace. After all, it's all about making sure your loved one is comfortable. In Little Rock, Frederick Price, THV 11 News.
All right, thank you, Frederick. Now, so many of you are preparing for the holiday season. Just look at the Christmas cheer we're seeing across the river in North Little Rock. That's a live look right now. Let's just hope the rain stays away on that Christmas night. Let's do a check-in with the weather. Nathan, what you got for us?
Well, Sarah, it's going to be an active weather pattern going into the new work week with a chance of some strong storms by Tuesday, but much colder temperatures arriving by the end of the week. I'll have more on those numbers coming up.